Hello everyone. So recently I was asked this question about building some kind of interface between Jira and another tool. Now, when it comes to integrating Jira with other tools, of course you have a lot of options, and you can look at some app, or you can also look at building your own solution. Now, when we talk about integration, like a true bi-directional sync or any kind of integration, you have to basically explore your options, and you have to basically understand whether you need to really build your own interface. And when I say interface is something that will sit between let us say Jira and that other tool. For example, let me give you one example. Let us say you want to integrate Jira with Google Sheets, and there is a need, there is a requirement, or maybe Google Docs, right? Now, if there is a requirement where whatever you do in Jira, let us say you raise tickets or issues in Jira, you want to maybe create a document, or maybe you want to populate or fill up some Google Sheet, right? Now, one way of doing it would be to build, let us say, some interface, and that interface will of course run somewhere on a server. And whenever you want to pull something from Jira, you would use the REST API. Whenever you want to push something to Jira, you would of course use the REST API. Now, when you want to work on the events, you can use webhooks. So webhooks are great, and this interface will, you can actually develop this interface in any language that supports REST API. So basically any language. It could be nothing but a simple shell script or shell scripts. It could be something that you can write in Java or Python or Node.js. Now, at the same time, if you have another tool where you want to send this information, of course you can do that as well by using the same interface, and that other tool should ideally also support REST API. Now, when it comes to integration, you have to basically ask yourself question, or basically you have to figure out whether this integration would be a true integration. Like something happens in Jira, you need to send it to other tool, or if something happens in other tool, you want to send it back to Jira. So that is true bi-directional sync. But even though it is bi-directional, you have to figure out or understand what all you want to sync. Do you want to sync each and everything? So basically you have to do some kind of a mapping, and there are tools available, by the way. People have developed these interfaces. They basically sell these interfaces as like a service or a platform. But in majority of cases, you can actually do things without any interface for like doing some simple integration. For example, let us go back to the same example of Google Sheet. Now, when we talk about Google Sheet, in Google Sheet, you do have the option to write Google App Script. And using Google App Script, and you can find plenty of examples online where you can learn how to write Google App Script and interact with Jira. I'm sure I have made a couple of videos. I do have like few scripts that I have shared, I believe, if I'm not wrong. But in Google App Script, you can write Google App Script to talk to Jira, and you can use that script to, of course, maybe just pull something from Jira and maybe do reporting on top of it. Maybe you want to create a document where you want to pick something from Jira. Let us say you have some employee onboarding and you want to then create a document out of it. So you can do that, and it is definitely possible. But in this case, you can actually just do Google App Script without any interface, and it is of course going to be less expensive because Google App Script will do the job for you. You don't have to maintain your own interface, and at the same time, this solution will only work where you're dealing with Jira and Google App Script. Building an interface makes much more sense when you have plans to scale it further. Maybe you also want to bring in more tools in future. And people, when they build these interfaces, sometimes they also, not sometimes, but often they would also store the information in their own database. For example, imagine that I once built one integration between Jira and some other tool where the interface was basically dumping something to a database, and that is it. And then from that database, the other tool was picking up the information. So that is, in a way, not really a true interface. It is an interface, but not really a true integration. But it is actually not real-time sync. And good thing about this approach is that you can keep track of failures and success, and you can have timestamp. So you can also keep track of history because you're storing it somewhere in your own database, and you're not really relying on Jira change history. If you have worked with the issues in Jira, you know that there is a change history. So if you're building an interface, then do it properly. Build your own database and store the information there, and then use that information to send it somewhere else so that you can have traceability. All right, so that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new. Thank you very much. Bye bye.